All right, ladies and gentlemen, my Ghost of Tsushima patient review is here. I want to say before I get into this video, appreciate you guys for taking some patience with me. If you were looking forward to this review or if you wanted to know if you could get it from my point of view, I just want to say thank you for your time. It took me a little bit to finish the game because, again, I'm very patient with playing open world games and single player games, more so than I am with any other game, really. For those of you who have been here, who know my patient review, my patient impressions, and stuff of that nature, I just want to tell you guys that this game right here was a little different because usually I stream it and usually I give my opinions on stream and I record gameplay. With this one, I really didn't do any of that. I wanted to do it a different way. I was really inspired by Solid Rev, I think that's his name, and some other people who were really direct in explaining this. I felt like that was the best way of doing this. We could show gameplay all day. We could talk about the gameplay, which is what we're going to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to do that. However, with this game, it's more of a direct approach because the way this game is handled, the way the game has come out, for it to be a summer release in July, and not only to be a summer release, but to be, overshadowed by one of the games, you guys know what I'm talking about with Last of Us 2, it absolutely excelled, and that's what I really want to talk about today. So if you're new to the channel, you haven't seen my patient impressions or my patient review, basically this is just me taking a shitload of time to play it in various ways, to express in different formats and different perspectives how good or how bad the game is. I don't do this often. I don't do this with every game. I only do this with games I feel like it's worth it, with games that I feel like we should take the time to talk about, but I will try to do this more often. I really enjoyed doing it for Doom, at least for the impression side, and I also enjoyed doing it for Red Dead, so I'm going to continue to try and do this. And again, you guys want to see me talk about gameplay, so why you're here, so let's get into the video. Without further ado, let's talk about how great this game is. Off the rip, the first thing you're going to notice about how great this game is, or how good the game really goes, is just it doesn't bullshit. It doesn't go into the history of the game. It doesn't give you some long cutscene to sit through. It's relatively easy. It's relatively simple to go through. You're in this battle on Tsushima and you're fighting the Mongols. Pretty simple. Yeah, that's really the only goal from the beginning to the end, is to fight the Mongols, kick them off your island. That's literally all you're doing the whole game. And I'm not making it seem like it's simple, but games that have simple processes and simple to understand are easily expandable. Because once you have your main focal point, once you have your main goal and you've established your main goal, your main focal point, you can just spread the wealth throughout the game everywhere. And I think that's where I fell in love with the game, because I can sympathize not just with Jin and not just with the people of Tsushima and the samurai, but I can also sympathize with the feeling of the Mongols invading a territory and them wanting to take it back. What you see, it's so heavily played out. And by the way, this game is very played on your emotions as well. You really get tied up in your emotions on this game. You really start to sympathize, feel for the characters, understand the characters, because they're so well driven, they're so well motivated, and they're so well crafted. I guess that's a better word in this game. But the first thing you're gonna notice is the game is just fucking beautiful, man. The game is so beautiful. And I said that this is the second best looking game other than Red Dead, and obviously I'm not trying to compare them. When you have a game like Red Dead and Ghost of Tsushima, I feel like they are pretty comparable with their open worlds. It's a step above AC Odyssey. I think it's right there. I think they're both really close. You could put them together, but I think Ghost of Tsushima just has this art style and this driven way that it doesn't really show reality too heavily, but it still has this Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild feel that really just for some reason was great to look at. I mean, you guys have probably seen the photo mode stuff already. You've probably seen everything behind that. You've probably seen people coming out making all these photos and these pictures, and I'll show some up on the screen right now of what I took and how I seen and how I played it. Phenomenal. Can't speak enough about how great the visuals were, how everybody looks, how the skins looked, how the armor looked, how the sweat dripped down people in cutscenes, how everything just went very well and flowed very well from the armor, from the sword kits, from the animals. I mean, don't get me wrong, I gotta make this clear. I know a lot of people are gonna say that there's muddy textures on the ground and the textures within the game. Obviously, it's a PlayStation. I'm not expecting to get PC graphics or even PC graphics or to get anything remotely close to something like Red Dead. I just don't want to hold games to the standard of Red Dead, but it is beautiful. I just want to let you guys know that if you go through this world, you can literally continue to replay this game just because of how beautiful it looks. The next thing that I want to talk about that I feel like is underrated, and I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about, is the character development and the character involvement. I really feel like Jin is the most sympathized with character, other than his beliefs, because obviously I believe a different thing than what the samurai and what the Japanese believe. Other than his beliefs, I really begin to sympathize with him as a person and as a character because of how well his story is told and how well he is acted. I don't feel like Jin is some super emotional guy until you get to the end of the game. And I feel like if he's an emotional, or he has emotions at times, it's well directed, it's well told, getting to understand his past. There's a point in the story where basically Jin is sympathizing over something with his father, and you begin to see like, damn, you know, if I was in that position and something like that would have happened to me, of course I'd turn to like this emotionless, brutal samurai, or this guy vet on just becoming better and increasing his power, obviously because of something that happened in the past. I can see that, I understand that. But then you get a sense of going from being a samurai to becoming the ghost of Tsushima. And those are two different things. As he starts off with honor, you see him portrayed down this path over and over again. And you especially see that with his uncle in this one mission where they disagree. By the way, this is spoiler free. I'm just giving you guys the rundown. But this, over time, you begin to see how Jin changes from being this honorable, loving, passionate person, or not just passionate person, but honorable person is basically the best word to say it. So the Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like, look, the Mongols don't fight by these rules. We're not going to fight by these rules. I can't fight by these rules. And if I want to save lives, I got to fight by different style and different tactics. And of course, that doesn't sit well with the samurai. It creates a great rift. Honestly, I want to say a big rift, but it creates a great rift. Something that really... it really messes with the story later on, and you'll get to see that again. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but you guys will come and see the conclusion and see what I'm talking about later on. But that's what happens throughout this game, man. You're getting that development the whole way through with Jin. Even the side missions, even though they can be a little bit repetitive, I'm not a big side mission person. I think the side missions have to be repetitive because it's a video game and you have to understand the basic elements of how video games are told and stories are told. There's only so much you can do with side missions. I see a lot of people, they always say that about any game. Oh, this is repetitive, this is repetitive. It's not AC Origins or AC Odyssey where it's completely, I guess you say redone over and over and over again, where it's grindy. It doesn't feel like that. And there's no level gating system for this, so you go anywhere you want, do any side mission, any main mission you want, until you liberate all the islands. You can really do whatever you want for the most part, man. I like that. I prefer that over Odyssey's grindy thing. I'm not killing Odyssey or nothing like that. I'm just saying the closest game that Tsushima is to is obviously Assassin's Creed. This is basically Assassin's Creed in Japan, just way better, in my opinion, just way better. But there is one thing I want to tell you guys that I don't feel like Ghost of Tsushima excels at. That is the fact that Ghost of Tsushima stealth is terrible for me. I know a lot of people are going to say, why? How could you think that? I think Solid Rev and the Layman Show or Layman Gaming also said that they really like the stealth in this game. And this is where I completely deviate from. I don't think there's a better stealth game than Assassin's Creed. That's just my opinion. At least the older Assassin's Creed, obviously. But still, in the newer ones, they still keep that Assassin's Creed feel with sneaking around. Just having an eagle, or just having whatever it is, a falcon, or whatever, depending on the game that it is, go up and be able to scan around where everybody's at. And, you know, it's better than it is when you're in Ghost of Tsushima and you have to press the touchpad and you have to look through people who are just really around you. And it's really frustrating because in this game, the camera angles and how the camera works is really fucking frustrating. It either doesn't turn fast enough or it turns the wrong way in multiple occasions. And that was really frustrating for me. I didn't find that to be too big of a problem. I just definitely pointed that out while I was playing to some of my friends that, look, this game right here is pretty frustrating because I can't do the Assassin's Creed sneaking. But the fighting is way better than AC, and the environment, how you interact with the environment is way better. The next thing that I want to discuss, the sense of realism here, man. I get it that not every game is going to be Red Dead with the looting. All right, I know you're not going to be able to pick up every item, look at every item, go through a drawer, look for everything that you need to find. I know it's not going to be that detailed. Obviously, Red Dead is way beyond almost any game in almost every aspect. If Ghost of Tsushima really wants to take the next step, if they make a second one, especially with the PS5, they've got to make the looting a little bit more fun. Just going around picking up things, I know some people like that. I know some people don't have a problem with that, but for me, I like to be involved in the world. I like to be drawn in. I really like the sense of, in Red Dead, you really go around and you look for everything, or in The Last of Us, you go around, you look for everything, you see everything, and you really get a grasp for what you're looting. Just picking up supplies and picking up stuff like that. It's more 2010-ish, like 2011, 2012. Like it's really basic looting. It's like it's AC basically. It's basically Assassin's Creed looting, and that's one of my biggest problems with stuff. Also, the ability to hunt. I don't even think you can hunt deer in this game. For the most part, I've shot a couple of deer and I didn't get anything from them. You can't hunt predators. You can hunt bears, stuff like that. You can really get into doing that, but there's nothing that really incentivizes you to continue to do that. In my opinion, like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you really want to hunt things. You want to go out and search for crocodiles. You want to go out and search for lions. You want to go out and search for bears. These are things that you're encouraged to go do. The wildlife is very fun to do, and I don't feel like that's there in this game. Another thing that I'm also putting on, which I think they may add, is New Game Plus. We need a new update. We need a new update where after you finish the game, you can go through this game and you can sit down and play this game back again, whether the forts reset, whether the Mongols are constantly trying to overtake Tsushima or something. Please, please, please. Of course, I like to go back and play the games over and over again, no problem. But damn, man, I want to keep my progress. I want to continue to play as my character sometimes. And that just continues to add to the value of the game. They just added lethal difficulty. I did not get to try that out. Didn't get to do anything on that yet. I will try it out. I will let you guys know how that is in a later video. And again, I do plan on playing this for a while, so please bear with me. But my major love point, my major selling you on the game, like, go get this game. This game is phenomenal. It is a must play, is the fighting. Nobody asked for anything else in a samurai game other than fighting more than me. I have been waiting for a ninja or a samurai game from somebody to make me feel like I'm the biggest badass to ever walk the planet. I have been begging for that, man. I have been begging for a game that is not scared to show a little bit of blood, a little bit of gore, a little bit of just ripping through my enemies in a long time. And this game absolutely nails fighting. It is better than Batman. I thought I would never say that. I thought Batman was the tip of what a fighting game would be. There's missions where Batman's chaining together enemies, and I thought, whoa, Spider-Man's the closest thing to that. But Spider-Man, we just press the same buttons over and over again, and it gets a little repetitive, but damn, it still feels fun to whoop ass as Batman or Spider-Man. It feels great. And here comes Ghost of Tsushima along. Man, I don't think I've ever played a game as fun and as well developed in the fighting area as Ghost of Tsushima, and you can tell it. You can tell that the developers, they really went to another level when making this. You have different stances depending on which enemy you want to fight that provides different combos, and you can level all of those stances up about 4 times to become just an absolute overall just beast. To be honest with you, just become an absolute legend. Then you have not only the ghost stand or the stances, you have different things like you upgrade your ghost where you sneak around, you got smoke bombs, you got slowing down time, you got just different things that you can do, you know, reviving yourself off the ground. Those are already just massive. You have the meditation, the guiding wind stuff where you can level up things to where the guiding wind will push you somewhere. And that's another thing I want to talk about, the guiding wind. Who developed that? You are a mastermind, bro. The guiding wind is one of the coolest features in a game I have ever seen. The way they use the touchpad, next gen. That is next gen gaming. That's what I expect from gaming. When they said PlayStation 4, when they said that these games were out, I expected Ghost of Tsushima. They have guiding wind. You barely ever look at your map unless it's for, you know, fast travel or just to see what's like where the missions are at. You're always in the game. And there's no HUD. This game has almost no HUD. I'm messing with my camera if you see me doing this. But there is no HUD. There's no map on your screen as you're walking around. The guiding wind and being in the game is what's going to separate you. If you want to find some loot, don't worry. There'll be a little fox that's going to guide you to it. Or there'll be a little bird that comes down, a golden bird that'll come down. And they're so easy to find. I wouldn't say so easy. They take a little bit of skill. Sometimes you can just wander off on them. Or sometimes I got stuck in missions where I couldn't find something. It took me like an hour or two to find where it was at. But that's a video game. That's a video game. Give me a little bit of a challenge here. And by the way, I played this on normal and a little bit of hard. I played it on hard by myself. The battles and the fighting with this game is just, man, it is amazing, bro. The level of combat that you can attack different enemies with and the different things you can do. There is this one move where you can stand off basically if you get a certain armor, which I won't say the armor, but if you get a certain armor and you stand off, you can win if you upgrade correctly and your abilities correctly 4 standoffs. So you've taken out 4 enemies. Then you have this combat or this skill that allows you to basically dash and kill 3 people. So you can immediately take out 7 people right there. Then there's another ability called the Heavenly Strike, where you can literally take out another enemy after that, which you have potentially taken out 8 to 9 enemies, depending on how you use them. I've seen 9. I don't know how people are putting them together, but they are. And then you achieve later on in this game, this thing called your Ghost ability, where you like turn into this just rage, where you're just basically Kratos when he gets mad. And you just ramp through these people, man. You can literally take out whole villages of people And that is the most exhilarating thing for me. That is the best thing for me of a samurai game, is the sword combat, the sword fighting. Man, the only issue I had at all with the fighting was there's just not enough dismemberment. When I cut through somebody, I want to see them like get sliced in half. But again, I know it's a little brutal. I know a lot of people could be like, yo, whoa, okay, we don't need all of that. But sometimes the arm gets cut off. Sometimes you see a head get cut off. But it's very rare. I didn't see it very much. And then again, I don't know how realistic it is to just cut through somebody's body. You know, I don't really think that's that much realistic. I think it would be a little hard. But I mean, come on, bro, it's a video game. Let me get a little bit of that, you know, just a little bit of that juice. And I don't think, and this is my problem. This is why it takes me so long to finish games. If I didn't have a date set in the review to do this, or I wasn't already telling my YouTube channel that I was going to make this review, or that I was going to talk about it, I wouldn't have made it, man, because I get so lost in open world games that are really good. I spent hours doing absolutely nothing, just walking around, just like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, who are you? What do you do? That stuff I love, man. It took me 3 months to finish Red Dead because I kept getting distracted by other things. And for some people, it's frustrating. But for me, it's amazing. I love it because it makes the world feel expansive. It makes it feel like it's there. It makes it feel like you're a part of the world. And Ghost of Tsushima makes you feel like you're a part of the world. Every time you walk by somebody, or you walk by, they call them peasants. You walk by these peasants, or you walk by these NPCs, they bow to you, they talk to you, they say something to you. Now, it's not Red Dead where you can talk to everybody and say a few words to them. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did, but I mean, again, not the same game. It is really still, it's really inclusive for you as the player, as well as it can be without being a Red Dead style of game. And I really enjoyed that. The world feels like it's moving until you get to the end of the game. It feels like it's being with you. It's narratively driven by you. Your actions matter. What decisions you make matter. There's a decision in the game that everybody's talked about, but I'll reiterate it. That is just, it puts you in a point where you have to think about your decisions, and you have to think about how you're going to handle which decision. And me being a gamer, it's more so different than when I was playing with my friends who aren't big gamers like I am, or have a YouTube channel and do what I do. Because for me, I kind of already see how the game is going to play out. I was pretty much able to tell which characters were going to die, when they were going to die, how they were going to die. Just off playing video games a lot, knowing how stories are told, how a good story should be told. And it doesn't devalue the game or nothing like that. It's just obviously I play video games every fucking day. So of course I'm going to know trends and how stories work. You know, I've done it for a long time. You've probably done it for a long time. And if you haven't, as you play games, you'll be able to see these things. But it didn't take away from the story at all. I loved every second of it. I felt like it was phenomenal, man. I feel like the gameplay, the elements of the gameplay, the narrative behind it, the non-SJW stuff, but, you know, there's no SJW stuff in here. There's no men bad, women good, none of that. There's no trans stuff in here. There's no trying to turn a woman into a man type of thing here. There's no trying to put a woman in a man's place. There's a character that Saka, or Jin Sakai, really gets with, and she has a brother, and she's really a very stout female lead character. She's amazing. I love listening to her. I love talking to her. She really embodies a woman correctly. Don't want to throw women in a cage and say this is how women should act, but you guys get what I'm saying here. She really embodies, like, if you're going to portray a woman in a video game and do them with honor and do them how women should be portrayed as lead characters and make them feel, or make them seem very intricate a part of the game, that's how you do it. And they did that phenomenally. It's just, she reminds me a lot of Sadie in Red Dead 2. Very embodied, very great character that isn't overly trying to push the aggressive side, but has this aggressive tendency from the past that she's had to want to take them on and want to get to the next challenge and really push your character forward. It's amazing. Again, phenomenal. I know I could go on talking about it, but it's phenomenal, man. Overall, man, I enjoyed the game. I think this is a game you must pick up if you're a fan of open world games. I know a lot of people who aren't a fan of open world games don't understand how you can be a fan of a narrative movie-like game over an open world game who provides much more value. But again, that's not for me to discuss. That's a topic for a different video. Ghost of Tsushima to me is the game of the year so far. I know a lot of people are already hyping on, like, is it going to be game of the year already? Is it going to be game of the year? I think it's game of the year, but Doom Eternal is right behind it. Doom Eternal is a really good game as well. But at least it was better than Last of Us 2. Holy shit, we needed this. We really needed this as gamers. We needed to come out here and talk about this because, man, there is no way. There is absolutely no fucking way that we were going to have such a shit summer like The Last of Us 2 gave us, man. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for Ghost of Tsushima. Thank you guys for making such a great game. But I'm telling you guys right now, Ghost of Tsushima is a must cop. I give this game a 9.3 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, whatever you want. I feel like there's still some things they can fix, they could work on, some type of stuff in there that I just, you know, as a gamer, for me playing other games, I don't think it's the best, I don't think it's the worst, but again, some things I think they could pick up on. And I really hope you make a second one. Please make a second one, bro, please. There's so much more to be told with the Japanese lore, and oh my goodness, the Japanese lore. Oh! Oh! Please make some more of this. I'm begging. There's still more invasions that happen in history leading up to the Japanese invasion or the Mongol invasion of the Japanese mainland. Please put us in there. There was some stuff leading to the Shogun, talking about the Shogun, which is mainland Japan, and, you know, the empire of Japan and the stuff of that. Please talk about that. Please go over that. I mean, as a history fanatic like I am, I really want to see you guys go that direction and tell the story foretold. Please just make another one, man. There has to be a sequel. This game has sold so well, done so well. Almost everybody loves it. Please continue to make this game. And for those of you who are trying to nitpick with this game, who are trying to find every little fucking thing wrong with these games, please find you another passion, another hobby. I see these people on the internet talking about it's racist. It's racist to portray the Mongols and the Asian people like this, or Chinese getting upset at this, or you know, Chinese this does it. How does it portray the Chinese? Nobody cares. It's history. All right. It's just like Assassin's Creed. It's history with a little bit of touch of fiction. All right. Obviously, these characters aren't real. We get it. But sheesh, man. Let us have a fun video game. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, remember that this game also pushes an ideology that I cannot promote, that I cannot sit here and satisfy and tell you guys it's a very 10 out of 10 game, as well from the aspect that they talk about worshiping a lot of different things. I obviously do not worship the beliefs that those people over there worship, and a lot of us on this channel don't worship that. Again, I'm promoting to really be vigilant in this game, like Doom Eternal, like other games like The Witcher 3, and really see it as a video game and really see what they're telling in the narrative of what they're telling and how they're portraying the Japanese people. I don't believe in their belief systems. I don't believe in anything, any gods or pagan gods that they believed in. Obviously, I believe in Yahweh, the true God of this world, but I just wanted to make that very clear. As you go through this game, you will see a lot of pagan stuff. You will see a lot of shrine worship. You will see a lot of this stuff. Please be vigilant and understanding that it's a video game. Don't kill it too much. If you're a Christian struggling with playing the game, you know, there are people out there in the world, but also at the same time, remember that, you know, don't get absolved in it. Don't think this is the correct way to go. Don't think that this is how it is. It's a video game. I have to stress that a lot. But anyways, guys, you know what it is. Bless up. As always, God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go get the game.